friends, welcome to My Witchy Kitchen. I'm Sandy, your crafty vegan witch. Thanks for tuning in today for my video on Diva Cups, menstrual cups. I know it's a little bit of a taboo subject and something that not everyone is likely to click on. So thanks for joining me here. If you're not yet a subscriber, do subscribe below. If you like today's video, I'm sure you would like my crafts and my recipes even more. But today, the reason I'm talking about menstrual cups is because it's something that I am very passionate about. I have suffered from endometriosis since I was 10 years old, and I was diagnosed with adenomyosis about 10 years ago. So if you're familiar with either of these, you know that they cause a lot of pain as well as heavy cycles and sometimes very unpredictable cycles. So for me, the Diva Cups were just a game changer. Starting to use them, I've noticed a decrease in the pain that I have. It's much easier to deal with. I don't have to use like the super absorbent tampons, which increase your likelihood for toxic shock syndrome. Very dangerous, something that we should all be aware of. I read up on toxic shock syndrome as associated with Diva Cups, just to make sure I don't say any misinformation here. From what I read, there's been 2 cases associated with menstrual cups since the 1920s. And I believe that both of those ladies had kept the Diva Cup in for about a week. Yikes. Ladies, don't do that. They're only meant to be in for a few hours, no more than 12 hours. You can sleep in them overnight, which is really nice without any worries. You do want to keep them clean to eliminate any risk of toxic shock. You can boil them, as recommended that you boil them to sanitize them periodically. One thing that I really like about the Diva Cups is the convenience. To not have to worry about the tampon, carrying them, where you're going to dispose of them, if there's not the proper facilities. That's something that's just gross to have to deal with. And can be a real inconvenience and can sometimes prevent you from doing the things that you want to do. I have 2 usually, like one that I keep in my car in the wintertime and one that I keep at home. Then in the summer, I'll transfer the one from my car like into a backpack so that if I'm out hiking or doing anything and unsuspectedly I start, because that can happen, or if I know I'm going to start, of course, and I make sure I have it with me. But super convenient, and not having those tampons, you're cutting down on the environmental impact that your cycle has. I was reading up and it's just thousands of tampons that women can use in a lifetime, or pads if they're using pads. So this eliminates waste, and you purchase one of these, it lasts for 5 years. That's amazing. So Diva Cup I sell for about $40 at the cafe, and 5 years. That's less than $10 a year, ladies. Tampons, I have spent that much or more on in a month. So $10 a year, $10 a month. You can see huge savings, huge environmental impact. And then with a tampon, they are like a little sponge that you're inserting in yourself. It's absorbing not only the menstrual fluids, but the moisture. And then any chemicals that are in the tampon are leaching into your body. I've mentioned before that we don't want to put things on our skin that we wouldn't eat. So you don't want to put anything toxic in your body. There are the organic tampons, but still you have the environmental impact and you have that risk of the toxic shock syndrome. There are more cases than you would imagine. I did some reading. There's a model. She had gotten toxic shock syndrome, and she has, at this point, had to have both of her legs amputated. She's continued on with modeling. I'm going to put a link down below for her, for anybody who wants to check her out. I found her story very inspirational. I'm also going to put links down below so that you can order Diva Cups. It comes in 3 sizes. This, I think, is a brand new size, at least for me to see it is. I just ordered this for the cafe, just arrived today. This is size 0, or model 0. This is for young girls who are just starting their cycles, brand new. So this is the smallest one. And if you know a young girl who's just starting, I would recommend give this to her as a gift. Just give her like a little welcome to womanhood basket. There's some chocolates in there, little candles for her bath. There's some bath salts, and show them this is not something to be ashamed of. You are a woman, welcome to womanhood, and this is a nice way to go about it. Maybe some reusable pads in there as well. I would have loved something like this as a young girl. So that is their newest cup. Their other cups that they have are models 1 and model 2. I've noticed a lot of the menstrual cups will have the different sizes. So I said model 0 for like young teenage girls, and then for those of you in your 20s or if you've never had children, model 1 would be what you would want to go for. After having kids or after the age of 30, then they have the model 2. I've tried a few different ones to see what works for me. So don't be afraid to experiment, and know that once you dial it in, it's going to be so awesome, so convenient. Buy one of these. 5 years. I think that's so awesome. I like the Diva cup, the design of it, and the tab. This is what I've found to really be the different part on a lot of them. And the first cup that I got had like a long tab on it and it said to cut it to your length of preference, which I didn't cut it very well, so it was a little uncomfortable. Anyway, this is nice. I think the tab is a nice length. It's not too long, and it's just, yeah, I can't feel it at all. There's other ones that have a different tab. I'll put links for those. Now, you might wonder how this works if you haven't used it before, and I have girls come into the cafe and they'll pick up the boxes and giggle and put it down and be embarrassed, and I'll be like, hey, have you ever used a Diva cup? Have you tried that? And they just look mortified that I've asked them. After I've shocked them, then I tell them a little bit about my own story and how awesome they are, and they're like, oh, I think they'd be messy is a big thing I hear. Not messy. Tampons can be messy, and said if you are traveling or something, disposing of them can be a little tedious task and how you're going to do it. So, not messy. Let me show you quickly how this works and how simple it is. When you look at this, it seems like, oh my God, how do I use that? So, to insert it, you fold it and just insert it like you would a tampon. Once it's in your body, it's going to open up and pop into place. Now, as with a tampon, the first couple of times you use it, you're going to have to learn what works for you and what's comfortable. Now, think back to when you used a tampon the first time, if you have, and how it was a little awkward and it felt weird. So after you used it a couple of times, you got more comfortable with inserting it, you got more comfortable with how to position it. Same thing here, ladies, so don't give up. I see lots of videos out there and people commenting, I tried it, never again. You can't give up after the first time. You have to give this a shot. When it comes time to remove it, you just grab the tab and pull down. So all of the fluid is trapped in the cup and you just dump it. Of course, there can be a mess, just as there can be a mess with a tampon or any other method that you use. Can be a messy time of month. Let's get real here. But this seems much less messy to me. So then you can rinse it out if you have a sink nearby. If not, you can just dump it, and reinsert it, wipe it off if you need to. Not messy, nothing to dispose of. Never remembering your tampons. You can swim with them. They're just so convenient. You really don't think about them at all once you learn how to use them. Then once your cycle's over, back into the little bag and keep it on hand for the next month. I recommend the first couple of times that you use it that you maybe use a backup method, put a pad on just in case you don't get it inserted right and you have any leakage. There are lots of eco-friendly methods for pads out there now. You can get the ones that you can reuse and wash. They also have period underwear. I've never tried either of these, honestly. So if you have, I'm asking you, comment down below and tell me about it. What do you think about them? Do you have any favorites? And how are those with traveling? When you're in public, how do you go about swapping those out? I'd be really interested to hear, and I'm sure that my viewers would as well. So leave comments down below. Also, if you've ever tried a menstrual cup, give a testimony down below and let people know your story. It's really important that we talk about this, ladies. It shouldn't be a taboo subject. In other cultures, women are nurtured and pampered at this time of month. It's not something to be looked at as a shameful, dirty thing. It's a completely natural thing that our body goes through. So if we start talking about it, we can help each other. I do hope that you will give these a try. Check the links down below to see the Diva Cup as well as other cups that I recommend that you could give a try. And let me know what you think once you've tried them. And of course, please, ladies, leave some testimonies if you have tried these and let people know how awesome they are. Thanks so much again for tuning in. I know that not everyone probably is going to click on this video today, but it is something that I wanted to share with you and said I would like to talk to you all more in the future about the health issues that I've gone through, the struggles that I've had, and what I've done to make changes in my life and make my life just better overall. So if you are interested, or if there's anything specific that you have questions on, if you've maybe dealt with either of these conditions, you want to leave comments down below. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'd really like to thank those of you who have left comments in the past and thank all of my subscribers. If you're not yet a subscriber, I would like to take a moment and ask you please subscribe down below. I'll be sharing lots of different recipes and crafts. I've done some product reviews. I'll be doing some just different informational videos where I talk to you guys, share my story, and I'm always open to suggestions, so you guys can help me decide other ideas as well, which you'd like to see in the future. Please let me know down below if you enjoyed today's video, what you thought of this topic. If you'd like me to do reviews on specific cups, or if you recommend, any of the other menstrual products that I was talking about, like the reusable pads or the period underwear, if you want to recommend some of those to me, I'm really, really intrigued to find out a little bit more about those as well, because there are a lot of people who are turned off completely by the Diva Cups. I hope that this video helps a little bit to give you a little information, and I hope you try it, but of course they don't work for everyone. So I would like to spread the message that if you're not going to go for the Diva Cups or another menstrual cup, do look into these other methods. If you're local here in the Lake Tahoe area and you're looking for a place to buy them, you can just stop by the cafe and pick one up, or if you're on vacation and you need one, you know where to find them. I have lots of ideas that I'm brewing up for you guys. I look forward to sharing them with you in the future. I hope that you all have a magical day. And until we meet again, remember to be crafty.